Top 5 luxury V8 sedans in 2026. Somewhere on this list sits a sedan that hits 60 faster than most sports cars ever built. Somewhere else, an engineer looked at a quiet luxury cabin and decided the V8 underneath deserved to be heard. Insulation be damned. And right at the top, a name older than the automobile itself decided that a family sedan should also drive like a fighter jet with a back seat. 5 cars, 1 philosophy, 0 apologies. If you think luxury means quiet, you clearly haven't met number 1 yet. Let's go. Number 5. Audi RS7 Performance. When this car rolls past on the road, it feels like Audi engineers set out to build a practical family car, and then someone quietly snuck a V8 monster inside it when nobody was looking. Audi didn't just crank up the power here, they actually reduced the engine and cabin insulation so the V8 sound would feel more alive, which means the car itself simply refuses to stay quiet, even when you'd probably want it to. Under the hood, a 4.0L twin-turbo V8 produces 621 horsepower and 627 pound-feet of torque, reaching 60 miles per hour in about 3.3 seconds through an 8-speed Tiptronic transmission and quattro all-wheel drive. On the exterior, this thing wears a mass single-frame grille, wide sculpted body lines, matte gray RS-specific details, oval exhaust outlets, and optional 22-inch wheels, giving it a stance that makes anyone who spots it look twice, then look again, just to be sure. Inside, RS sport seats with honeycomb stitching, the Audi virtual cockpit, a head-up display, and a Bang & Olufsen sound system make the cabin feel like a driver's cockpit crossed with an expensive techno lounge. The RS-tuned adaptive air suspension, sport rear differential, and RS exhaust system keep it composed and serious in corners. But that engine note wakes you up faster than your morning coffee ever could. As for the price, the 2026 Audi RS7 Performance starts around $130,700. But once the options list gets involved, the number climbs so fast it starts to feel like Audi is quietly selling you a stress package alongside the car. Number 4. BMW M5. The new M5 stopped being just a fast sedan a while ago. Now it's a full-blown power statement, one where electrification and raw muscle finally sit down at the same dinner table. Instead of fighting over it, instead of staying a pure gasoline monster like the M5s before it, this generation runs BMW's M hybrid system, pairing a 4.4L twin-turbo V8 with an electric motor to produce a combined 717 horsepower and 738 pound-feet of torque. That's a number that used to belong exclusively to supercars, now sitting quietly under the hood of a car that also has heated cup holders. Paired with an 8-speed automatic transmission and MX drive all-wheel drive, it hits 60 miles per hour in roughly 3.4 seconds, which for a 4-door business sedan carrying briefcases and car seats is honestly a little disrespectful to actual sports cars that cost twice as much. On the exterior, widened fenders, an illuminated kidney grille, aggressive lower air intakes, a subtle rear diffuser, and quad exhaust tips give it a road presence that photographs shouldn't be able to capture but somehow do. Inside, M multifunction seats hold you firmly through every corner. An M leather steering wheel sits perfectly weighted in your hands. A curved digital display glows across the dash, ambient lighting sets the mood, and multiple M drive modes let the cabin swing between luxury office and secret gaming room, depending entirely on your mood that morning. As for the price, it starts around $123,000. But once the options list gets involved, this car doesn't just enter your bank account politely. It moves in, unpacks its bags, and starts paying rent like it lives there now. None of these next 3 play fair, and none of them are here by accident. One of them laps the Nürburgring faster than cars, costing $500,000. And it isn't even the most expensive thing left on this list. Stay right there, because it only gets more ridiculous from here. Number 3. Mercedes-AMG GT63 SE Performance 4-door Coupe. Yes, the name genuinely takes longer to say out loud than most people's morning commute. But the second you touch the throttle, it ends every single conversation happening inside the car, instantly and without warning. This is AMG's performance hybrid philosophy, taken about as seriously as physically possible, with no half measures anywhere in the build sheet. A hand-built 4.0L twin-turbo V8 works together with a rear-mounted electric motor to produce a combined 831 horsepower and 1,032 pound-feet of torque, numbers that used to belong exclusively to hypercars parked behind velvet ropes. Thanks to AMG's SpeedShift MCT transmission and Performance 4MATIC Plus all-wheel drive system, this full-size four-door coupe accelerates from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 2.8 seconds, a number that should legally require a warning label on the door handle before you're allowed to sit down. On the exterior, AMG's signature aggressive body lines, a special radiator grille, an active rear spoiler that adjusts itself at speed, 20-inch AMG wheels, and a long fastback silhouette give it a shape that genuinely looks fast standing perfectly still in a parking lot. Inside, Nappa leather wraps every surface. 64-color ambient lighting shifts the entire mood of the cabin at the tap of a screen. Ventilated front seats keep things composed even under hard driving, and an AMG Performance steering wheel completes a cockpit that feels like an expensive hotel lobby, quietly daring you to drive calmly. And honestly, that would be a little embarrassing. As for the price, this one starts around $200,500, which means loving AMGs simply isn't enough anymore. Your bank account needs to be running in AMG mode too. Number 2. Porsche Panamera Turbo SE Hybrid. Porsche didn't build this as just another fast luxury sedan chasing a spec sheet. They built it as one of the most serious answers yet to the dream of a genuine 4-seat sports car that also happens to have a back seat and a trunk. This is considered the most powerful production Panamera Porsche has ever made, and it didn't just claim that title on paper. It backed it up by lapping the Nürburgring Nordschleife in 7 minutes and 24.17 seconds, a genuinely serious statement among hybrid executive sedans that most people assumed would never get near that kind of number. Under the hood, a 4.0L twin-turbo V8 pairs with an electric motor to produce 771 horsepower and 737 pound-feet of torque. And with an 8-speed PDK transmission and all-wheel drive working together, it accelerates from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 2.8 seconds, matching the AMG above it despite carrying considerably more weight from that hybrid battery pack. Porsche Active Ride suspension keeps this heavy hybrid shockingly composed through corners that should, by all logic, upset a car this size. And the plug-in hybrid system even lets it glide around silently on electric power alone for short trips, assuming you can actually convince yourself to drive it that gently. On the exterior, a wide, low stance, an aggressive turbo-style front end, turbonite trim details, special 21-inch wheels, and dark bronze exhaust outlets give it a face that says, "Don't test me," even sitting perfectly still in a parking space. Inside, the Porsche driver experience cockpit wraps around the driver. A large central screen anchors the dash, an optional passenger display keeps front seat guests entertained, and sport luxury seats turn the whole cabin into something between business class and a driver's secret gaming room. As for the price, it starts around $245,000, which makes this a genuinely, seriously expensive way to prove a point to everyone else on the road. A car that laps the Nürburgring in under 7 minutes and 25 seconds just finished in second place on this list. If you think that's the ceiling, wait until you hear what number 1 has been hiding under the hood this entire time. Number 1. Bentley Flying Spur Speed. And finally, here we are at the very top of the list, with a Bentley that is luxurious, powerful, and just a little too pleased with itself. Though honestly, with this much horsepower and this much leather stitched into every surface, it would be strange if it wasn't. This is officially the most powerful flying spur in Bentley's entire history, and instead of sticking with the classics W12 engine that defined the nameplate for decades, it now runs a 4.0L twin-turbo V8 plug-in hybrid system, producing a combined 771 horsepower and roughly 1,000 newton-meters of torque. Paired with an 8-speed dual-clutch transmission and all-wheel drive, it accelerates from 0 to 100 km/h in just 3.5 seconds, a number that feels almost rude coming from a car this large, this heavy, and this dedicated to ceremony. On the exterior, a black detailed matrix grille, 22-inch speed wheels, a low and muscular bodyline, dark-tinted headlights, and subtle speed badges give it the look of a gentleman who also happens to box competitively on weekends and doesn't feel the need to mention it. Inside, Nappa leather, Dynamica headliner details, 3D leather door panels, massaging seats front and rear, large individual screens, and a premium sound system turn the rear cabin into the single most comfortable place you will ever get overtaken from on a motorway. As for the price, this one starts around $276,000. And with a reasonable options list, it comfortably crosses $300,000 without so much as breaking a sweat. And with that, we've reached the end of our list. The 5 most luxurious, most powerful sedans of 2026. So tell me, which one wins it for you? Audi's V8 with the volume turned up, BMW's Hybrid Brute, AMG's 4-door Missile, Porsche's Nürburgring-honed Hybrid, or Bentley's aristocratic overkill? Drop your pick in the comments, leave a like if this list earned it, and subscribe to Elite Motors for more expensive, powerful, and slight wallet-threatening car countdowns. Thanks for watching.